In today's video, we're taking a look at how to crimp lugs easy and simple. This is so easy, anyone could do everything that we use on the video. We're going to leave a link on the description. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. That does help us out a lot. Thank you. So you woke up today and crimping lugs in wires is in your mind. Don't worry, here at the StatUpBox team, we've got your back. A few blocks away, but a back is a back. And in today's video, we're going to show 3 different tools to crimp the lugs. But no matter which one you choose, the technique will be the same. And the first thing that you're going to need, other than yourself, is the wire. Next, you're going to need lugs. And wire lugs are metal connectors used to securely attach wires to terminals, bus bars, or electrical equipment. They come in various types like crimp, solder, or mechanical. And they are chosen based on the wire size, connection method, and application. Proper lug selection ensures a safe and reliable electrical connection. And when choosing a lug, you want to take into account the wire size, the material according to your project, the hole size that matches the lug hole to the bolt or stud, and lastly, and the most importantly, the current rating, depending for your needs. And the lugs are made of 2 parts. We have the barrel where the wire is inserted. So that means when you're stripping your wire, you want to make sure that you strip the same amount of the barrel size of the lug that you're going to use. And then we have the palm or tongue, which is the flat part with a hole for bolting or connecting. So when picking the lug, you want to make sure that you have the correct hole size for your particular application. So to understand this better, if we take a look at this lug, we notice that the first 2 numbers are the wire size, 2/0 wire. And then we have the size of the hole on the palm or tongue, which is 3/8. So that means this is going to be bolted on a 3/8 connection. Remember, you want to strip it to the same size of the barrel of your lug. Once you have your wire, the first thing that you want to do is cut it to size. And for this, you can use many tools, from needle nose pliers, from wire cutters, from wire strippers, and no, not the dollar bill ones. You can even use some pliers or actual wire cutters. We prefer using these blue wire cutters because, as you can see, they leave a clean cut. And for stripping wire, we like to use a wire stripper. And no, not the ones in the pole section at your local hardware store. For stripping the wire, we like to use the Klein auto adjustable wire stripper because they adjust automatically to the size of wire that you have. But let's say you're using a regular wire stripper, you can always see the gauges on the wire stripper itself. If you notice this one, to the right side we have for solid wire, and to the left side we have for stranded wire. Let's say in this case we have a 10 gauge stranded wire. As you can see, this one only goes to 12, but if we don't close it all the way, we still can use it. Once you feel it cuts the jacket and not the wire strands, that means we're ready to pull the jacket off. And a pro tip, remember, you don't have to twist your wire stripper up and down because this may score the wire, making it more fragile for the future, or even cut off some strands of the wire. So an easy way to remember is you don't want no dizzy stripper, and we clearly mean wire stripper. And remember, you can always get your tool for the correct wire sizing of your project. But let's say you're doing larger wire, which the Klein or the manual one can't handle, then we like to use these crimp strippers from 12 gauge to 4/0 gauge. And what we like about these, that they are easy to use. You just clip them on your wire, having the end to the end of the plastic. You twist and you will feel once the blade touches the strand and you stop twisting. And then you can take your beautiful strong hands and strip off the jacket. In some cases you might have to score it, which you can also do with this tool, but usually your beautiful strong hands do the trick. But a pro tip, always having loose change will create a more pleasant stripping session. I mean, wrong video. And now you've done it. You broke your wire. No, you didn't. Now you're ready for the next step. And that is, after a night out of stripping wire, you're ready to go rated R and insert the lug on the wire. And the 3 pro tips that are important here is to strip the jacket of the wire the same size of the barrel of the lug that you will use. Second, you want to make sure that the lug is the same size as the wire. And thirdly, you want to make sure that the palm and tongue hole is the same size to where you're bolting the lug. And now that we have our wire cut, stripped, and lugged, we're ready to crimp. And the first tool that we're going to use is a hammer lug crimping tool, which is totally manual. This is a great and easy compact crimping tool that not only gets the job done, but it takes out the stress away. And after a long night of stripping wire, relieving stress is always a good idea. And this particular crimping tool goes from 8 gauge all the way up to 4/0 gauge wire. And basically a hammer lug crimping tool works by placing a lug with the inserted wire into the metal die and striking the top of the tool with a hammer to forcefully compress the lug around the wire, which then creates a strong mechanical and electrical connection without the need for expensive hydraulic crimpers, aka manual labor. And remember, each tool that we use will leave links on the description. And our next tool can go from 10 gauge all the way up to 1/0 gauge wire. And this particular cable lug crimping tool uses a hexagonal rotating die to crimp the lugs by squeezing the handles together, applying even pressure around the lug. But different from the other one that we saw before where one blow adjusts to all, this is manually adjusted by rotating the dies until you get to the number of your particular wire size. And as you can see, the measurements are in millimeters. So 10 gauge is 6 millimeters, 6 gauge is 16 millimeters, 2 gauge is 35 millimeters, 8 gauge is 10 millimeters, 4 gauge is 25 millimeters, and 1/0 gauge is 50 millimeters. This particular wire that we're using is 10 gauge, so that means we're setting the hexagonal rotating dies to the number 6, which is 6 millimeters for 10 gauge, to face each other. And we do this on both sides. If you notice 2 screws on each side that you press, and once pressed, you can rotate the dies with ease. Once you let go, they lock into place. So different from the other tool, here you take the tool to the wire, you place the lug with the wire inside in between the dies and squeeze until your beautiful Hulk hands can't no more. Once you feel it stop, you're done. A pro tip, no matter which crimping tool you're using, you always want to crimp on the wire and never crimp the jacket. And remember, the most important thing is to snug and pull to verify that everything is securely crimped. If you want to protect your connection, then you can always use heat shrink wrap or even electrical tape to secure your lug and the wire's jacket as one bond of love, just like marriage. I mean, love and pain. I mean, no, love. And now we're ready for our next and last tool, and that is a hydraulic crimping tool. In this particular case is a 12-ton crimping tool, which can crimp from 8 gauge all the way up to 4/0 gauge wire. And this basically works by using the hydraulic pressure generated by pumping the handle to compress the cable lugs with force. This allows for precise heavy-duty crimps on large gauge wires. Even though the tool is doing most of the work, you still have to show it the pumping angles. So get your best pump and show those arms. As you can see in the box, the first thing that we get is barbecue paper. I mean, the owner's manual. Next, we get some replacement O-ring seals. Next, we get the hexagonal dies that come in pair according to the gauge size of your wire. And in this case, it goes from 8 gauge dies all the way up to 4/0 gauge dies. According to the manufacturer, they're made of hardened steel construction with an oxidized surface for durability. And as you can see, the tool itself comes in its own case. And now finally comes the star of the show, other than you, of course, and that is the hydraulic press. If we notice on the middle, we have a knob. If we turn to one side, it's for the tool to work or to press or compress. And if we turn to the opposite side, it's to reset, basically to decompress the hydraulic press. And that's how I started my rhyming career, wink wink. And now that we looked at hydraulic press technology, we're ready to get this tool back to work. So if you notice at the top, we do have a screw with 2 nuts on the side. With one of the nuts that you remove, it dies. I mean, it gives us the opportunity to remove the screw so we can insert the dies into place. And once we inserted the dies into place, and remember, you want them to match, in this particular case, we're placing the 2 aught gauge dies. And remember, you always want to create the hexagonal shape in the center. That's how you know that you installed them correctly. We placed the screw back in, tighten the nut, and as you can see, meanwhile the press is resetted, we can insert the lug in between the dies. It would hold it in place so we can go rated R and insert our wire. We make sure that we have our knob turned to the work side and start squeezing the handle until we can't no more. And even though that the hydraulic press is doing all the work, you'll start noticing that with every press of the handle, it would get harder and harder until a point that you can't no more. So that means you can go to sleep now. I mean, you finished. I mean, you've done it. Let's go on with the video. Once we notice we can't go no more, then we can turn the knob to the reset side. That would uncompress the dies, letting go of the death grip it has on the lugs. So now you can get back to work with your newly finished lugged wire. And remember, a pro tip, if you want to add heat shrink or electrical tape, this would be the time. Always remember to do the snug and pull test to verify that your lug is securely in there. And now you've done it, Grasshopper. You went out stripping, you created some lugs, and now you're a family. You can pat yourself on the back for a job well done. Don't forget, if you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. That really helps. If you have any questions, place them in the comment section below. Either someone on the StatUpBox team or someone on the YouTube community can help you out with an answer. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media. Thank you for watching, and here's a link to our latest video.